Recording in progress.
All right, Shelley Reed. Here. Manny Becerra for Alex Felto.
Here.
Harris Armstrong.
Here.
Francine Donchik.
Here.
Marilyn Kramer.
Here.
Kate Nelson.
Here.
Carl Nieberlein.
Here.
Pat Phillips.
Here.
And Carrie Vormeyer.
Here.
All right, we have a quorum.
Perfect. Next, we'll do the salute to the flag. Sarah, can you lead us in the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next, I have approval of the agenda.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Great.
Madam Chair, Commissioner Donchik, I second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Next, we'll open it up for public comment. Do we have any public comment?
I have not received any public comment cards for this item.
Okay, we will close public comment and move to approval of the minutes.
Madam Chair, Commissioner Donchik, I move to approve the minutes.
Madam Chair, Commissioner Kramer, I second.
Great, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed?
Madam Chair, Commissioner Becerra must abstain.
Perfect. All right, motion passes. Thank you. And next, we'll do business of the day. And I'm going to combine all these three resolutions. And I think it would be great if Peter and Sarah and Mark came up to the podium. Come on.
Do you notice how they space each other one apart? They didn't even sit together.
Well, we read these into the record. It's good to see you guys.
Good to see all of you. Oh. Do the short version.
All right. Yeah, make you stand up here.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you all for coming. We're excited to have this celebration of your service. I'm going to start and read a resolution for you, Sarah. This is resolution number 23-08, resolution of appreciation for the service of Sarah Chavilicek on the Truckee Meadows Regional Planning Commission. Whereas Sarah Chavilicek served as a member of the Regional Planning Commission from July 2016 to June 2023, representing Washoe County. And whereas Sarah Chavilicek twice served as chair of the Regional Planning Commission, first from August 2019 to July 2020, and then again from August 2022 to June of 2023. And whereas Sarah Chavilicek always sought to advance the quality of life for residents of the Truckee Meadows through thoughtful direction and deliberation. And whereas Sarah Chavilicek presided over the adoption of the 2019 regional plan with grace and acumen, helping to usher in a renewed vision for regional planning in our community. And whereas Sarah Chavilicek consistently participated in thoughtful discussion regarding the many reports and technical initiatives undertaken at TMRPA, such as the Strategy for Housing Affordability, the Natural Resources Plan, and the Public Infrastructure Plan. And whereas Sarah Chavilicek consistently promoted conversations and actions focused on enhancing the sustainability and conservation of our region's ecosystems and landscapes. And whereas Sarah Chavilicek brought her unique perspective to the RPC, born of her position with the University of Nevada Extension as a 4-H Youth Development Program Coordinator for Northern Nevada and Program Manager for Washoe County. And whereas Sarah Chavilicek always treated staff with a great deal of respect and appreciation. And whereas Sarah Chavilicek never horsed around at RPC meetings and conducted herself in a professional manner, always asking thought-provoking questions and taking into account the community, the environment, and the facts when making a decision. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Sarah's colleagues on the Regional Planning Commission and TMRPA staff express their gratitude to Ms. Chavilicek for her conscientious public service to the Regional Planning Commission as chair and a longstanding member of the RPC. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you very much.
Of course.
Thank you.
And then we're going to have Nate Kusha read in a resolution for Peter Gower. Then we're going to do comments at the end.
Yeah.
Look over my shoulder.
I'll give Jeremy a breath here. So this is resolution number 23-09, resolution of appreciation for the service of Peter Gower on the Truckee Meadows Regional Planning Commission. Whereas Peter Gower served as a member of the Regional Planning Commission from September 2016 to July 2023, representing the city of Reno. And whereas Peter Gower also served as the chair of the RPC from August 2018 to July 2019. And whereas during Peter Gower's service on the RPC, he helped lead and participated in discussions regarding a wide range of regional topics, including the 2019 and 2024 regional plan updates, housing affordability in the Truckee Meadows region, the future growth of our region, the natural resources plan, the public infrastructure plan, and a multitude of conformance reviews. And whereas Peter Gower, as chair, hosted thoughtful and efficient meetings and worked with staff in a timely manner to address any concerns. And whereas Peter Gower supported the efforts of TMRPA to provide data-driven, thoughtful analysis for public and private decision makers, and was continually committed to supporting comprehensive and innovative approaches for planning in our region. And whereas Peter Gower always treated staff with a great deal of respect and appreciation, and staff always enjoyed his thought-provoking questions and consistent leadership during RPC meetings. And whereas Peter Gower is still the only person we have discovered who has served on the RPC and was previously an employee of the Truckee Meadows Regional Planning Agency. And whereas Peter Gower's commitment to improving our region is evident considering his work in the region as a planner and his service on the Reno Planning Commission and the Regional Planning Commission. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Peter's colleagues on the Regional Planning Commission and TMRPA staff express their gratitude to Mr. Gower for his conscientious public service as a member of the Regional Planning Commission from August 2016 to June 2023.
Hey, who makes up this stuff?
We may be changing this format. You guys may be the last.
Read it. No.
All right, we have one more.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Jeremy Smith again for the record. This one's for Mark Johnson. Resolution number 23-10, resolution of appreciation for the service of Mark Johnson on the Truckee Meadows Regional Planning Commission. Whereas Mark Johnson served as a member of the Regional Planning Commission from August 2019 to July 2023, representing the city of Reno. And whereas Mark Johnson served as the chair of the Regional Planning Commission from August 2021 to July 2022. And whereas Mark Johnson, as chair, hosted thoughtful and efficient meetings and worked with staff in a timely manner to address any challenges or concerns. And whereas Mark Johnson was committed to supporting comprehensive and forward-looking approaches to planning in our region and endorsed the efforts of TMRPA to provide information and data-driven analysis for public and private decision makers. And whereas during Mark Johnson's service on the RPC, he both led the RPC and participated in discussions regarding a wide range of regional topics, including the 2019 and 2024 regional plan updates, the future growth of our region, the natural resources plan, the public infrastructure plan, and a multitude of conformance reviews. And whereas Mark Johnson always treated staff with a great deal of respect and appreciation, and staff always enjoyed his easygoing manner and spirit of camaraderie and teamwork. And whereas Mark Johnson's visits to the Truckee Meadows Regional Planning Agency's office, both planned and unplanned, were always enjoyed by regional planning staff. And whereas Mark Johnson always brought his keen sense of design and architect's eye for aesthetic during his service on the Reno Planning Commission and RPC. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Mark's colleagues on the Regional Planning Commission and TMRPA staff express their gratitude to Mr. Johnson for his conscientious public service as a member of the Regional Planning Commission from August 2019 to July 2023. Thank you, Mark.
Okay, before we have a motion to open it up for comments of any of the commissioners, I will start by just saying that I'm glad to see you guys. I really enjoyed when I first got on the regional planning, you guys were here. I looked up to you. It kind of helped guide me through the process, and I really appreciate your leadership and guidance, and you're definitely missed on this commission. So thank you for your service.
I just want to say thank you for that extra bit of intelligence and knowledge, and that you, all three of you, put out to being very detailed in your questions. And your questions were always, how shall I say, well, of course they were intelligent, but the detail in them led us in the right directions with some of our decisions and helped some of us that were newer here to learn how to think and look at and ask the correct questions. Thank you.
Any other comments? Oh, yes, Commissioner Armstrong.
Yeah, thank you. Sarah, unfortunately, I didn't have a chance to serve with you here on the Regional Planning Commission, but it sounds like you were wonderful, and I appreciate your service. I did have the opportunity to serve with both Mark and Peter on Reno's Planning Commission, so I would be remiss not to make comments, though I'm sure they'd prefer I didn't at this point. But I wish I would have had the opportunity to serve on this body with you as well. I can say as a new commissioner for the city of Reno, you were really good role models, and it was beneficial to me to watch you lead those meetings through your questions and comments. So really appreciate it again, and thank you so much for your service. I wish I could have served longer with you on this body, but appreciate it.
Any other
I have
comments?
some comments.
Oh, well.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Jeremy Smith, for the record. I just wanted to say that all three of you were instrumental in my time as the director since I've taken over. I mean, from the 2019 plan adoption and the lead up to that, through the natural resource plan, through COVID, through the right, the public infrastructure stuff we're doing, and just, I think, helping to guide us to a good spot for these conformance reviews as we try to retool, what regional planning was doing after the update. So really appreciate your leadership on that, and you are missed. I mean, I think we have a great crew right here today as well, but it was very nice to serve alongside you, and thank you very much for your service.
Any other comments? Oh, looking for a motion to accept the resolution? Is that what we're doing? Okay.
Madam Chair,
Oh,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, go ahead.
Madam Chair, Commissioner Dye, make a motion to accept the resolutions.
Okay, we have a motion.
Madam Chair, I second that motion.
Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Congratulations. Thank you, guys. Do you guys want to come up and get a photo?
Do they want?
It's up to you.
Great to be on that side.
I think they're saying no to the photo.
Slowly walking away.
Only if you want the photo, Sarah says.
Always. All right, thank you. Let's move on to item D.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Ahead.
Item 6D is a regional plan conformance review for the City of Sparks Master Plan Amendment, the El Rancho Estates, and we have Shawnee Souza, Regional Planner, for this item.
All right. Hi, everyone. Shawnee Souza, Team RPA for the record. I will be taking you through a couple conformance reviews tonight. The first is El Rancho Estates, case number CR23-015. So this is for the City of Sparks. This is a master plan land use change on an approximately 8.75 acre site, and this is composed of 3 parcels. This is going from intermediate density residential to multifamily residential. And if you look on the right, you can see our regional 4 map. The subject site is highlighted in orange. And this is located south and west of El Rancho Drive and south of Moore Park Court. More specifically, if you head north on El Rancho Drive, go past McCarran, it's going to be on your left. For our determination, we do recommend that this conforms with our regional plan. So policy RC9 of the 2019 Truckee Meadows Regional Plan identifies the 5 factors that the RPC must consider when evaluating conformance. I'm going to briefly take you through each of these now. So starting with population growth, when we're looking at maximum allowable densities, when we go from IDR to MF14, we're going from 10 dwelling units per acre to 14 dwelling units per acre. Or this is a potential of about 87 total dwelling units to 122 total dwelling units. So that's just 35 units. This just really gives a wider range for residential uses and enhances the housing diversity, which is referred to as the missing middle. This overall supports our policy PG4 affordable housing strategies. And as I said, this is a small increase, and this is a minimal impact to projected housing capacities, and we found this to be in conformance with this policy section. Next, we'll take a look at regional form. On the right is our neighborhood map, and the subject site is hatched in orange. And as you can see from that light blue color, that means it is in our Tier 2 designation, and that is our 3rd in our priority hierarchy. There is a maximum allowable density of 30 dwelling units per acre for Tier 2 land. As I said, the maximum here is for 14 dwelling units per acre, so this conforms with our policy RF3, density requirements, and non-residential standards. Then in terms of compatibility, on the west, we have high-density residential, and then northeast and south, we have intermediate density residential, suburban residential, and open space varies. So this really gives a good transition from that west side to the surrounding area. And to give you a better look, this is just continuing from that last point, we have our existing and our proposed land uses. So as you can see, that high-density residential is to the west and then surrounded by those other areas. So we believe this is compatible from a regional perspective. Next, we have public facilities and services. So as I said, this is in Tier 2, so the facilities and services are generally in place, and Sparks also agrees that they are available and adequate. This conforms with our policy PF1 of the regional plan. Next, as you can see in this aerial map, hopefully you can see it, there's the overhead transmission corridor. It's kind of that red-orange. It traverses the site from east to west. So to meet the requirements of our policies, Sparks Policy CF16 specifically requires a 10-foot setback from existing and future utility corridors, which conforms with this policy section. Next, we'll look at natural resources. What you can also see in this map is our development constraints area overlay. So that's that light yellow color there. And for our particular area, it slopes over 30%. Regional Plan Policy NR3 describes limits on development within DCA that local master plans and affected entities must abide by in order to preserve our development constrained lands. The applicant is also aware of this and the limitations to development, and the Sparks policies, as well as the El Rancho Estates Plan Development Handbook, are to regulate future development consistent with this DCA regulation. And finally, we have regional coordination. So we really start early in the process with our initial review memo, and we make sure to give comments to the City of Sparks or any submitting jurisdiction. That way they can have an idea before even submitting the case. Then once they submit the case, we go through it and we talk about things like that DCA overlay, or we talk about the that overhead transmission corridor. That way we have a really good understanding of these land use changes. And then finally, we have this overarching policy, which is RC9, that you are considering now. And here is the proposed motion. I'm available for questions, and same with City of Sparks.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any questions for staff? Seeing none, this is a public hearing. Do we have any public wishing to speak?
I've not received any comment for this item.
I didn't know actually open it. I'll open it.
Oh, sorry.
Public comment.
We have not received any comments for this item.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so I will go ahead and close public comment and bring it back to the commission. If there are no questions, I'll entertain a motion.
Madam Chair, Commissioner Donchik, I move to find the El Rancho Amendment to the City of Sparks Comprehensive Plan in conformance with the 2019 Truckee Meadows Regional Plan based on the findings listed in the staff report.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, this is Commissioner Becerra. I second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Next, we'll move on to item E, Director Smith.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Item 6E is another public hearing regional plan conformance review, again for the City of Sparks Master Plan, and we have Shawnee Sousa for another presentation.
All right, so Shawnee Sousa, Team RPA for the record. Once again, I'll take you through another conformance review. This is for Marina Gateway and Prater Way, case number CR23-016. So we'll start with that overview again. This is a master plan land use change in an approximately 5.77 acre parcel. This is going from mixed use district mixed residential to mixed use district mixed commercial. On the right is that regional form map, and the subject site is in orange for you. Located off of East Prater Way is where we're looking, and you go just until you get to around the Sparks Boulevard, just before that. We do believe that this conforms with our Truckee Meadows Regional Plan. Once again, I'm going to take you through that same set of criteria one by one. So starting with population growth, when we're going from that mixed-use district to mixed residential, and we're going over to mixed-use district mixed commercial, it really just offers a wider range of commercial uses while still retaining that medium to high-density housing type. This does not change our allowable maximum residential density, and therefore does not affect our projected housing capacities. All right, so for regional form, we have our neighborhood map on the right. And here you can see the subject site hatched in orange, and that's within the mixed-use core section, which is indicated by that dark blue color. That is where we expect to see the most intense development and is our first in our priority hierarchy. The proposed land use change and the associated densities are consistent with our mixed-use core designation. And to continue looking at our regional form, when you look at this, we have our existing on the left and our proposed on the right. So as you can see, it is surrounded and within that mixed-use district on all sides, but it is adjacent to the mixed-use commercial. So we found that from a regional perspective, that this is really compatible with the area. Next, we have public facilities and services. And we have an aerial view to the side with that subject site hatched in orange. The parcel is located within that mixed-use core, so public facilities and services are generally in place. However, the capacity of the sewer collection system will need to be increased to serve this development. If development of the site does occur prior to the sanitary sewer upgrades, the applicant will be required to construct off-site improvements necessary to accommodate the sewer flow generated. We believe that this conforms with the policy PF1 of our regional plan. Next, we'll take a look at natural resources. Here you can see the area is well developed and the site is vacant. So we see no natural resource impacts identified on the subject site. And finally, once again, regional coordination, very same process. We always send that initial review memo, get comments, and talk throughout the whole thing. Proposed motion is on the screen overhead or on page 25 of your packet. Thanks.
Thank you. Do any of the commissioners have questions for staff? See no questions. I will open it for public comment. Do we have anybody that wishes to speak?
Well, we have none for this item.
Okay, I will close public comment and bring it back to the commission. There's no questions. I'll entertain a motion. Come on, you guys, it's the same too.
Madam Chair, I move to find the Marina Gateway and Crater Way Amendment to the City of Sparks Comprehensive Plan in conformance with the 2019 Truckee Meadows Regional Plan based on the findings listed in the staff report.
Thank you.
Madam Chairwoman, Commissioner Nieberline, I move to second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Oppose, motion passes. Thank you. Let's move to item F.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Jeremy Smith for the record. Item 6F is a regional plan conformance review, this time for the City of Reno Master Plan, the Diaz Masonry Amendment. We have Nate Kusha for this item.
Good evening, Commissioners. Nate Kusha for the record. As Director Smith mentioned, this is a conformance review of the Diaz Masonry Amendment to the City of Reno Master Plan. So this proposal is an amendment to the City of Reno Master Plan to change the land use on the subject site from single-family neighborhood to mixed employment. The subject site is approximately 0.65 acres in size and is located in Tier 2, as you can see on the regional form map there. The site is located on the north side of Western Road, approximately 170 feet east of its intersection with Panther Drive, and it is kind of right off that Panther Valley exit of 395 North there. And we do recommend that the proposed amendment does conform with the 2019 Truckee Meadows Regional Plan. Overhead, we have policy RC9 again, as you've seen multiple times tonight already. That sets our review criteria for this, and we'll go over these pretty quickly. So in regards to population growth, the request includes a minimal decrease in density, and from a regional perspective, will not create any appreciable change to projected housing capacities. The site is currently being used by Diaz Masonry as their business materials storage location, and this is currently non-conforming to the City of Reno Master Plan, and the proposed land use and zoning amendments associated with this land use request represent the first steps towards becoming a conforming use. As noted, this does lie within Tier 2, and the proposal is appropriate within this tier. And the compatibility of the proposed land use change is appropriate with the mix of uses in the area, as well as the industrial land uses directly adjacent to the site. For facilities and services, materials submitted by the City of Reno indicate that the public facilities and services will be available and adequate to serve the project as required by Policy PF1. and existing infrastructure serving the surrounding parcels is already in place, and the facilities and services to support the proposal can be accommodated. Finally, moving on to regional coordination. For natural resources, it is already a use on site. We found no natural resource considerations. And for our regional coordination policy sections, we have our conformance review policy, as always. And of course, we made sure to coordinate with all of the relevant entities in the review process for this proposal. So with that, there's a suggested motion overhead or on page 43 of the packet, and myself, as well as City of Reno staff, are available for any questions.
Thank you. Does any of the commissioners have questions for staff? None, then I will open public comment. Do we have anybody wishing to speak on this item?
We have no one wishing to speak on this item.
Okay, I will close public comment, bring it back to the commission. I'll entertain a motion if there's no questions.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
Commissioner Donchik, I move to find the Diaz Masonry Amendment to the City of Reno Master Plan in conformance with the 2019 Truckee Meadows Regional Plan based on the findings listed in the staff report.
Thank you.
Commissioner Armstrong, I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion, a second. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. Let's move on to reports. We'll start with Director Smith.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have a short report for us here. Jeremy Smith for the record. I just want to say that we have been engaged in a lot of, we've been engaged in a lot of engagement out there in the community. We've been going out and talking to folks about the initiatives we have underway, and that really started on September 30th, I think it was, with our One Region event at Rancho San Rafael Park. Thanks to those of you that stopped by to say hello there. We had a great turnout this year. It didn't rain on us, so that was really good. We had a bluegrass band. We had a lot of interaction with folks that brought booths, organizations like Endow, Tumwa. We had the Parks Foundation there, Truckee Meadows Tomorrow, and several others. So it really was a nice event and getting the word out about regional planning. We had prizes, which was fun. And then we've been doing other engagements as well. So I spoke to a group of architects here one night about the regional vision and also the shared vision with the cities of Reno and Sparks. That was a pretty good event where we got some interesting feedback. Yesterday, spoke with a group of engineers about our public infrastructure plan. That was a really great opportunity. And we also took the public infrastructure plan and information about our natural resources plan to the Nevada APA conference, the American Planning Association conference, the Nevada chapter that happened up at Lake Tahoe. So one day we did, in the morning, Chris Tolley and I talked about public infrastructure, and then in the afternoon I sat on a panel with Southern Nevada and the TRPA talking about natural resources and trails. And so it was a really good opportunity again to talk about the work we do, and I think get some feedback about it as well, which was great. And then also, we got, thanks to Carrie, an amazing tour of the Ormat facility down there in Steamboat. It was such a really cool thing to see how that geothermal plant operates, and thanks for that, Carrie. Also want to announce that we hired an administrative assistant. She's not here tonight. Her name is Carla Pierce, and she is taking a test right now. She's taking like an econ class or something, but you'll get to meet her at the next meeting. She's been doing great, so we're really excited to have Carla on the team. Let's see, let's talk about the PRS Review Subcommittee. So that is something that we'll bring as an item to the next meeting. Now that we have a fully seated Regional Planning Commission, everyone is officially here on board. Thanks, everyone, except for Manny, who's sitting in, but now he's our favorite alternate. We will form that PRS Review Subcommittee again and get back to thinking about how we can interact with the school community, the charter and private schools. Let's see. We'll also plan to bring a training item to the next meeting because there are new commissioners, but there's a 12-hour requirement for training. We talked a little bit about it before, but we'll bring an item that helps you along the way with some of the materials that we offer up for training. And with that, finally, our next meeting is on November 20th. That's actually a Monday. So it's a little bit of a different date because of the Thanksgiving holiday. So we'll be in this room Monday, November 20th. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Director Smith. Any member reports? Seeing none, we'll move on to legal counsel's report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Jessica Prenti for the record. Nothing to report on the legal end, and I just wish everyone a happy Nevada Day weekend. Hopefully you won't be too cold and get out and enjoy the festivities.
Some of us don't get the day off, though. No complaining. Next, we'll move on to item 8, requests for future agenda items. Are there any requests? Okay, and we'll open it up to our last public comment of the evening. Do we have anybody that wishes to speak?
Not that I'm aware of.
All right, we will close public comment and go to written correspondence.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We do not have any written correspondence at this time.
Great. Well, I will adjourn this meeting. Thank you, everybody.
Love it.
Recording.